not? I just don't know. When do we skip in? Because I want them to watch the actual video, Don't Rain on My Parade. Because like, that's why I thought maybe we'd just be up here anyway. Let's skip on the way out, yes.
Oh, let's skip out.
Yes.
Are we holding it? It's narrow. We might not be able to really hold it and skip. We can just skip.
We can just skip.
Okay, and these are large enough that I can read them.
I don't know who's doing the...
You should sit right up here. I'm the worship associate today.
I'm going to let your muse take over in terms of how you want to do the readings. By the way.
I'm actually going to sing the
Okay. Came out, he's this big dude with this big mop of hair. He came out with these tiny little round glasses. Come on, baby, light my fire. Come on, baby, light my fire. Fire to set my fire.
hope you like that kick line. Adam did great. All right, today's chalice lighting come from the wise words of Ray Manzarek of the Doors. Come on, baby, light my fire. Come on, baby, light my fire. Try to set the night on fire, 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 fire. Hello, good morning. My name is Mari Van Meter. My pronouns are she and her. Our church shares a covenant that we make with one another. This is a promise to help remind us that why we gather and how we want to be with one another. Please rise in body or spirit and join me in saying our covenant together, and you may need to look at the words. We unite to strengthen the bonds of kinship among all persons, to promote human dignity, and to increase reverence for life's creating, sustaining, and transforming power through worship, study, service, spontaneous laughter, unexpected interruptions, misplaced hymnals, rogue children, and whatever else happens today. Thank you. You may now be seated.
You never want to follow that act. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Countryside Church. My name is Adam Lunter, and my pronouns are who, me. I am, okay, quick aside, because it's Pandemonium Day. I don't know if anybody here has ever studied Hebrew or not. Anybody? Okay, we got a few people, so you know this already. For those of you who find this business of pronouns still confounding, and I hate to think there are, but just in case there are, if you're really finding it troublesome, let me tell you something about Hebrew. In Hebrew, the word for the pronoun she is he. The word for the pronoun he is who. And the word for the pronoun who is me. So if you've been confused up until this point, you're welcome. And it is for that reason that I serve this congregation on the worship committee, and it is great pleasure to welcome you to service in advance of Pandemonium Day, which is next Tuesday, July 14th. And yes, there really is a Pandemonium Day. The internet said so, and we all know if it's on the internet, it's true. Yes. Right? But yes, there is a Pandemonium Day, a day to celebrate the unexpected, and to help people get their lives back if they feel they are too predictable, boring, scheduled, or orderly. And it's actually no easy matter to plan a service on such a theme, especially with the services for Pride, 4th of July, when we said goodbye to Reverend Pam and Reverend Karen, and we also had surprise house guests over, so it's been busy. So I wasn't kidding when I said that I've been planning all week to be spontaneous, okay? I've actually had to work it around a few things. So, but on such a day, it is only fitting that we begin our time together with the words of Hunter S. Thompson, who wrote a very spiritual tome that I'm sure some of you are familiar with called Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Life should not be a journey to the grave with the intention of arriving safely in a pretty and well-preserved body, but rather to skid broadside in a cloud of smoke, thoroughly used up and loudly proclaiming, "Wow, what a ride." And with those words, I invite you to start our time together by rising as you are willing and able and joining me in our opening hymn, number 6, Just So Long As I Have Breath. Okay, and as we know, it is now time for our all-ages story in our Wonder Box. I've asked Debbie Ely and Sarah Tilford to join us up here, and just so everybody knows, it was really hard to get Joy Annie in here, so, hey, you got out. So, okay, but yes, we'd like to invite our young and young at heart to please join us up front, and it's all your show now, guys.
Good morning. Okay, guys, what do you think is in the Wonder Box this morning?
Joy Annie.
Any other guesses? Ever painted anything? What's the craziest thing you painted? And don't say your brother. Your brother. Have you guys ever painted something so fun and so wild? Okay. Well, I think Miss Sarah's going to read a story about making it slot in this world. How's that? Okay, enjoy.
Hello, everyone. I'm Sarah Tilford Rodriguez. My pronouns are she, her, and this is one of my favorite childhood stories. The Big Orange Splat by Daniel Manus Pinkwater. Mr. Plumbean lived on a street where all the houses were the same. So good, right? He liked it that way. So did everybody else on Mr. Plumbean's street. "This is a neat street," they would say. Then one day, a seagull flew over Mr. Plumbean's house. He was carrying a can of bright orange paint. No one knows why. And he dropped the can. No one knows why. Right over Mr. Plumbean's house. It made a big orange splot on Mr. Plumbean's house. "Oh, too bad," everybody said. "Mr. Plumbean will have to paint his house again." "I suppose I will," said Mr. Plumbean. But he didn't paint his house right away. He looked at the big orange splat for a long time, and then he went about his business. The neighbors got tired of seeing that big orange spot. Someone said, "Mr. Plumbean, we wish you'd get around to painting your house." "Okay," said Mr. Plumbean. He got some blue paint and some white paint, and that night he got busy. He painted at night because it was cooler. When the paint was gone, the roof was blue, the walls were white, and the big orange spot was still there. Then he got some more paint. He got red paint, yellow paint, green paint, and purple paint. In the morning, the other people on the street came out of their houses. Their houses were all the same, but Mr. Plumbean's house was like a rainbow. It was like a jungle. It was like an explosion. And there was the big orange splat. And there were little orange spots. And there were stripes, and there were pictures of elephants and lions and pretty girls and steam shovels. The people said, "Plumbean has popped his cork, flipped his wig, blown his stack, and dropped his stopper." They went away muttering. That day, Mr. Plumbean bought carpenter's tools. And that night, he built a tower on top of his roof. And he painted a clock on the tower. The next day, people said, "Plumbean has gushed his mush, lost his marbles, and slipped his hawser." They decided they would pretend not to notice. That very night, Mr. Plumbean got a truck full of green things. He planted palm trees, baobabs, thorn bushes, onions, and frangipani. And in the morning, he bought a hammock and an alligator. And when other people came out of their houses, they saw Mr. Plumbean swinging in a hammock between two palm trees. They saw an alligator lying in the grass, and Mr. Plumbean was drinking lemonade. "Plumbean has gone too far. This used to be a neat street. Plumbean, what have you done to your house?" the people shouted. "My house is me, and I am it. My house is where I like to be, and it looks like all my dreams, Mr. Plumbean said. The people went away. They asked the man who lived next door to Mr. Plumbean to go and have a talk with him. Tell him that we all liked it here before he changed his house. Tell him that his house has to be the same as ours so we can have a neat street. The man went to see Mr. Plumbean that evening. They sat under the palm trees drinking lemonade and talking all night long. Early the next morning, the man went out and got lumber and rope and nails and paint. And when the people came out of their houses, they saw a red and yellow ship next door to the house of Mr. Plumbean. "What have you done to your house?" they shouted at the man. "My house is me, and I am it. My house is where I like to be, and it looks like all my dreams," said the man, who had always loved ships. "He's just like Plumbean," the people said. "He's got bees in his bonnet, bats in his belfry, and knots in his noodle." Then, one by one, they went to see Mr. Plumbean late at night. They would sit under the palm trees and drink lemonade and talk about their dreams. And whenever anybody visited Mr. Plumbean's house the very next day, that person would set about changing his own house to fit their dreams. Me too. It's a good one. Whenever a stranger came to the street of Mr. Plumbean and his neighbors, the stranger would say, "This is not a neat street." Then all the people would say, "Our street is us and we are it. Our street is where we like to be, and it looks like all our dreams." The end.
Thank you very much. And before we send you guys away, little gift for the kids. Yes. Be sure to go out and create a big orange splot today if you can, all right? All right.
All right, so our first reading today is Dare to Be Stupid by Weird Al Yankovic. Put down the chainsaw and listen to me. It's time for us to join in the fight. It's time to let your babies grow up to be cowboys. It's time to let those bed bugs bite. You'd better put all of your eggs in one basket, and you'd better count your chickens before they hatch. And you'd better sell some wine before it's time. You better find yourself an itch to scratch. You better squeeze all the Charmin that you can before Mr. Wimple's not around. And talk with your mouth full, bite the hand that feeds you. Definitely bite off more than you can chew. What can you do? Dare to be stupid.
Half of the undesignated offering today will be donated to Music for the Ages, a nonprofit whose mission is to provide intergenerational music events integrating young children with seniors. You can make donations by cash or check or use the QR code. Giving is the ultimate way to ensure true richness of spirit. Without giving, we're watered down, lost in the flood of our self-focus. Sharing our wealth ensures that this community can continue its mission to create belonging, inspire curiosity, and heal our world. The offering will now be gratefully received.
I'm going to say something really quick about Music for the Ages because that's my charity, actually. So I am a volunteer program leader for Music for the Ages, and it is a really an amazing program. So if you could check it out online, but we do really appreciate your donations. I actually run a program right here in Wheeling at the Harbor Memory Care Center, and I have a program coming up this Thursday. So if you have children that are 6 or under, I do need some children for that event. So come and talk to me. Thank you.
fear. Oh, wouldn't it be lovely? Lots of coffee for us to drink. Lots of programs to make us think. Some cash to fix us
or the roof.
Oh, wouldn't it be lovely? Oh, so lovely giving to support the fellowship. I would freely so the board. Won't have to crack the whip. We will give till we feel real good, doing more than we thought we could. It seems like what we should. Oh, wouldn't it be lovely? Lovely, lovely, lovely. Thank you.
My name is Ken Sipos. My pronouns are he and him. I am a member of the lay pastoral ministry. Each Sunday we share joys and concerns so that we may show our support and strengthen the bonds of kinship among us. Let us know if you have something you wish to be included or could benefit from our support. There is a link on the church website and in the weekly e-news, even on the back of your program. Contact the church office or any of the lay ministers. Today we share that Sue Gates needed to place her husband Paul in memory care. He is now at Mariella in Arlington Heights. It has been a long road and a very difficult decision. We keep you in our hearts and prayers, Sue and Paul. Marianne O'Toole and Mike Dubois share the sad news that Marianne's brother died very unexpectedly. We hold you in our hearts, Marianne and Mike. Lastly, we thank all the groups who are organizing lay-led services this summer, including this one. There's so much talent, creativity, and heart in our church. For these and the unspoken joys and concerns that remain in your heart, know that we honor them. Please join me in singing.
What? We're not there yet.
We're not there yet.
We're not there yet.
Thank you very much.
But you know what? Let me add a little good news, actually, so that we can share this. The first group of people to whom I subjected this particular service was the First Unitarian Church in St. Louis, where we recently received news that the minister there, Reverend Kim Mason, got married to her girlfriend, so we're actually really psyched for her. And some of you had the privilege of meeting Tom Finan and Pam Gephardt, yes. They're sort of the resident wackos at that church now that we've left. So, but they are getting married now too. So we send our love to them as well. And with many joys and concerns remaining unspoken in our hearts and minds, I ask you to please join me in a spirit of prayer and meditation with attention to these words. Spirit of life and love, holy within and among us, here we are, each one of us, living life on life's terms, bringing to it all that we have, both the good and the bad, the funny and the serious, the calm and the chaotic, that which is in abundance and that which is insufficient, that which entertains us and that which infuriates us, the causes for us to celebrate and the causes for which we must fight, the sacred and the profane, the private and the public, the emboldening and the humbling. Whatever we are bringing here this morning, help us carry it with purpose. Help us to share it when it is more than what we can do alone or more than we can use. Help us to know when it is time to put it down, that we may be of use and assistance to others, or that we may recover our strength. Help us to remember, even when it's hard, and especially when it's easy, that we are but one form out of millions doing all the work at this point in time and in this place in the universe to help you to be the great totality of all experiences. Amen, and blessed be.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart of the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots would be close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
You're good. You're good. Now, just go.
Good morning. My name is Michael Lunter. My pronouns are he, him. Where's my cheese? Did you take my cheese?
Yeah.
Oh, here it is. Okay. This is cheese. It's not real, but it's my cheese, okay? And it belongs right here. You're going to find out some new things about me today. I don't like my cheese moved. Everything has a place and an order. Shirts are hung in a certain way, by color, sleeveless, then long sleeves. Keys and wallet are always in the same place. If it's not there, then I panic because then it's really lost. In fact, when I go to various places, I have a tendency to park in or near the exact parking spot as I typically do. Though I will admit that due to my age, it's more of remembering where I parked, because if I parked somewhere new, well, it'll take me quite a while to figure out where I parked.
Amen.
During the Christmas holidays, I have a habit of taking pictures of the decor I put out. Not necessarily because they look nice and I want to share them or keep them as a memory, but rather so I can put up each piece in the same spot next year. Probably comes from my years, over 50 years ago of working as a designer in department stores and putting up decor all over the place. I can deal with the changing world and work environment, but chaos in my home? Order in my personal environment means all is good. No anxiety, nothing to fear, no stress. It's like a baseline of measurement of steadiness and predictability, which keeps me in a condition free from the storms of life. This baseline measurement was tested a few years ago when I got a new housekeeper. I came home one day and noticed the coffee table was totally different. Gone were my typical items and replaced with other items from the house. Once I found the items that belonged on my coffee table, I put everything back the way it was. The next time he cleaned, he made a comment that I must not like his arrangement skills. In a slight panic, because he was really a good housekeeper and cleaned underneath the refrigerator and stove, which I never do, I made an excuse that I spilled something. Yeah, I spilled something. And I didn't know the order you had it, so I put everything back the way I knew it was. And in my head, I'm going where it belonged. And he just went, uh-huh. Another time I got home from work, and he called me later in the evening and asked if I was in the living room. Why, yes, I answered, yes, I am, as a matter of fact. Then he informed me that he arranged 5 different things in that room. You have 1 minute to identify them. Go. I completely taken back. I quickly looked around, and I think I was able to clumsily identify 3 things before he said time was up. He continued to do that from time to time, probably knowing how rigid I am. And actually, in time, I started to look forward to them and seeing what was different. Sometimes he had the better arrangement and idea, I must admit. As long as my wallet and keys remained in the same place, I'm good. This would again be tested in more recent years when Adam wanted to help me decorate for Christmas. I'm the decorator. Those first 2 years of our relationship were really something. He would place an item and I would say, oh no, that doesn't go there. It goes here. I think he knew my little picadillos and wouldn't attempt to challenge them at first, which was extremely kind on his part. Until one year he said flat out, I'm going to decorate the top of the ledges myself, and quickly proceeded to do so. I took a breath and reminded myself that I don't always have to do things my way, and sharing this festive task was something that I've always fantasized about in a partner. Adam completed the ledges, and it was beautiful. It was truly beautiful. He put things in places that I wouldn't have done. Thus, I gained a new and different perspective. Isn't that what the whole cheese thing is about? In the book, I don't know if you've ever read, Who Moved My Cheese by Dr. Spencer Johnson, 2 mice and 2 little people live in a maze where they find cheese and never run out. Until one day, the cheese disappears, and they go through a range of emotions: fear, anger, confusion. Johnson's cheese chunks represent what we desire in life: a nice career, a loving relationship, money, goods, health, or spiritual peace of mind. The maze is your workplace, family, and neighborhood. The story tells a fable you may use to your life to quit dreading the future and to learn to thrive with change and uncertainty. Cheese doesn't always stay in the same place. The story's characters sniff, scurry, hem, and haw show how to handle this change. Life won't always give you what you want when you want it. Sometimes cheese changes unexpectedly or even disappears. But if we can find ways to adapt and overcome our fears, the good things will come around again for us. The sooner you let go of old cheese, the better. So put on your running shoes and start looking for new cheese.
I'm a little bit of a hellion, what can I say? I'm assuming that for some of you, this has probably been the most unorthodox hour of church you've ever sat through. I sure hope so. But I also hope it's been a little bit of a fun break from what I might refer to as our regularly scheduled program. Never mind that these are the lay-led services, which aren't the classical thing that we do here, but even so, what I'm trying to do here today is sort of what Pandemonium Day is all about. The internet, which, as I said before, is 100% truthful 100% of the time, says that this is an unofficial holiday that is the annual celebration of chaos and disorder, designed to encourage us to take a different look at upheavals and changes in our lives. There's no single recommended way to celebrate Pandemonium Day, but the general consensus is that it's a day to throw caution to the wind, be spontaneous and madcap, cancel plans, get rid of expectations, enjoy a day in the fast lane, chase the horizon, play in the mud with frogs, run through a gathering of pigeons, an umbrella maybe, climb the nearest tree, follow your impulses, engage your inner child, free yourself from preconceptions and expectations. Live today like it's your last day on earth. In other words, Weird Al Yankovic's words to be specific, dare to be stupid. In essence, it's a celebration of the importance of spontaneity and a chance to take a break from the everyday humdrum of life as it becomes more stable and systematized, or worse, static. Because let's face it, it's very easy for things to become too normal, even to the end that we begin to feel a pressing need to break the shell and do something a little bit radical, unexpected, and wacko. The founder of Pandemonium Day is still unknown, which only makes the theme of uncertainty all that more apropos, doesn't it? But the word itself can be traced back to 1667, when it appeared in John Milton's epic poem, Paradise Lost. Have any of you ever read this? I see a few hands up there. Would you who have your hands up agree that it is a Coman paper? Yeah, I don't know. I had to shake myself awake several times. And I love poetry, but God, that was a grind. Anyway, yes, the word pandemonium was originally found in that poem, coming from the Greek words pan, meaning all, and daimonion, meaning inferior gods, and interestingly enough is also the root of the word demon. Pandemonium is identified in Milton's work as the capital of hell. Sure. With demons all around, what else could it possibly be? And that's probably an apt way to describe the word pandemonium in its literal sense. I mean, let's face it, when calamity and chaos are showing themselves in their most raw and unvarnished form, it sure can feel like the devil's on every side. And even when, upon reflection, we can see the humor and even the lessons in the situations once it's over, it probably feels like there was absolutely nothing funny or even useful about it when it was going on at the time. Sometimes it even feels like a matter of life and death. What right-minded individual would want to celebrate that? Well, as some of you know, my philosophy on troubled times is that they usually turn into experience, strength, and hope once we've successfully gotten to the other side of them. And while it doesn't make the discomfort of the challenge itself any more palatable, it does remind me that I have not only survived the 100% of my rough times in life, but I've also gained something in the way of character building, humility, fortitude, and strength of spirit as a result of going through the experience. I used to have a friend in Tokyo who used to say that when she was in pain, it was good news because it meant it was time to grow. To this day, I still can't subscribe to that interpretation of it. I have never been one of those people who I'm like, I'm in pain, it's time to grow. No, I'm not one of those. But I do understand the point that she was making because tough times do have their purpose, an important one. I mean, let's face it. Hasn't it been the case for all of you? Haven't your struggles helped to define who and what you are? Haven't some of them, even in their worst form, helped you to stay closer to your resolve? Have they sometimes forced you to think outside the box, like Mr. Plumbean, and go in a completely different decorative decoration that proved to be both satisfying and self-edifying, even when others thought we were crazy and reckless? If that's the case, then aren't those trials and tribulations worth celebrating then? Mr. Pinkwater's story about the big orange splot may not have been written with this idea in mind. In fact, it may not have been written with any other spiritual lesson than the one about the beauty of individuality and the need that we all have to break from conformity at some point in some way. I will say, though, that having owned my own house in a street where they all look the same, he was probably trying to stick it to his HOA. Whatever his reason was, he was indeed communicating what Pandemonium Day is all about, turning the chaotic into something beautiful, going against the grain of the dull and quotidian and trying to see beyond the ugliness of the moment, deliberately choosing to be fun and improvisational rather than get caught up in awfulization and dread. Deliberately choosing to be fun and improvisational rather than get caught up inoculation, and dread. Is that not something we could really use as we look at the state of things today? I mean, I don't know about anybody else, but for me, the strangling political and economic situation in the Strait of Hormuz, with its ripple effects all the way to our neighborhood gas tanks, the predictable chest thumping from leaders on both sides as the conflict in the Middle East ramps up, the endless report about who's up, who's down, who's in, who's out, and what every poll supposedly tells us as another consequential election looms on the horizon, the years-long arguments over the fitness, judgment, and suitability of those entrusted with governing us, the entirely justified outrage over ongoing prejudice, racism, xenophobia in healthcare, housing, immigration, and citizenship that continue to find shelter in our laws and institutions, the persistent squeeze of inflation, the ongoing is he alive or not case of Mitch McConnell, whom I like to call Schrodinger's senator. Okay, somebody has to have got that joke. I don't know. Thank you for humoring me. Anyway, it's all becoming one big mind-numbing blur that greets me when I wake up in the morning and follows me to bed at night. Sometimes it snatches unguarded minutes of the day that could be put to better use. And don't get me started on the list of friends and acquaintances who are irritated with me for not only stepping up on a soapbox to say my piece, because I should say something, but I also have the double whammy of now having a job in the petroleum industry. So now apparently I've also become part of the cog in the machine that's messing up everybody's lives. To me, all that stuff is not the big orange splot dropped on the row of normalcy. It's the row of houses that all look the same. Maybe not as dull and colorless, but definitely regular, consistent, uniform, and there every single day looking exactly the same as it was before. To put it inelegantly, it's the same SHIT, different day. That's becoming way too normal for me. Maybe for you too. I have a friend in the city who recently shared with me his opinion that one of the surest ways to wield power isn't merely to persuade people, but to convince them to give up hope. Thus, for him, the answer is refusing to let his hope die by taking actions that manifest hope. That's actually not a bad idea, especially since my hope is, and always has been, for a little more humor and laughter in this society, a little more kindness, a little more roundness in the knees, even among the people whose views I share. A little more tolerance and a little more time to pause and think, oh, now I get why they're doing that. A little more color, a little more silliness. So today, with this obnoxious break from our regularly scheduled programming and clothing where I'm all business up top and all party below, I'm trying to be the change that I want to see in the world and encouraging all of you to take part this coming Tuesday when Pandemonium Day actually comes around. I am trying to create a big orange splot so that I can be a piece of something beautiful and different and a break from the norm where things feel a little bit chaotic and like the devil's on every side. And by God, I want to have fun doing it. I want to make it silly and weird so that I will appreciate the silliness and weirdness even when it's not funny at the time. I want to make it big and memorable so that all the demons I perceive all around me won't have room in my head and my heart to build their capital. I'm even hoping that you, as you sit there, are now taking a moment to pause and think about this unusual service today and think, oh, now I get why they're doing it. So today, and definitely on Tuesday when Pandemonium Day joins us, I ask you to help me ruffle a few feathers for let's try that again. I ask you to help me ruffle a few feathers for sanity's sake. Join with me while I break from the everyday humdrum and do something odd and obnoxious just for the sake of appreciating the odd and obnoxious. Let's not only move Mike's cheese, let's play keep away with it.
Wait, give it to me. I want the cheese. Give it to me. I got it. No, he's got it. I got it.
Okay.
Just don't bite it, it's not real, you'll break the tooth.
Anyway.
No.
Above all, let's remember that taking a different look at upheavals and changes in our lives and remembering that they do have their place and purpose, even if that purpose is to remind us to have a little fun and live a little lighter. those moments mean something. And with that, I ask you to join me in singing our anthem for this service, Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, which I chose because, well, it's tough to sum up in one word what I want you to take away from this hour of mayhem, chaos, oddity. Because, when you're trying to express yourself, it's frankly quite absurd to leaf through lexicons and find the perfect word. A little spontaneity keeps conversation keen. So you need to find a way to say precisely what you mean. Everybody! Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, even though the sound of it is something quite atrocious. If you say it loud enough, you always sound precocious. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Little, 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 love, little lie. Little, 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 love, little lie. Little, 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 love, little lie.
So Stone Age men were chanting when grunting would suffice. That they had heard this, and if they, let's try that again. If they bothered to hear this word, they might have used it once or twice. I'm sure Egyptian pharaohs would have grasped it in a jiff. Then every single pyramid would bear a hieroglyph reading Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, even though the sound of it is something quite atrocious. If you say it loud enough, so when the cat has got your tongue, there's no need for dismay. Just summon up the word, and then you'll have a lot to say. Pick out those 18 consonants and 16 vowels as well. Put them in an order, which is really hard to spell. And what's the word? Yes, and you can say it backwards, which is docious aliexballistic fragicaloruptus, but that's going a bit far, don't you think? Oh, hell, no, not on Pandemonium Day. Go as far as you can. Anyway, thank you all for joining me in this hour of lighthearted chaos, which I hope encourages you to seek a little craziness for your own spiritual and emotional well-being in the week ahead. As I said in the beginning, it takes a lot of people to help be spontaneous. And I want to be sure I shout out to everybody, of course, to the lady on the keys, Allison Vernon, to Debbie Lee, Miss Wonderbox, and of course to Sarah Tifton, who told our story for all ages today. Thank you. And this cheesy guy over here, my husband, Michael Lunter, and of course, the incomparable force of nature that is Mari Van Meter. Yes. Thank you all very much for your help today. And like I said, I hope that you will take the week ahead and even the rest of today, ruffle little feathers for sanity's sake, have fun, be spontaneous, and remember it takes a lot of work to be spontaneous. So make it worth the time. And with that, I ask you to please join me in our closing hymn with a little help from my friends, and know that in this place, you are always among friends. Thank you.
What would you think if I sang out of tune? Would you stand up and walk out of No, we would not. Oh, I get by with a little help from my friends. I get high with a little help from my friends. I'm gonna try with a little help from my friends. Do I do? I get by with a little help from my friends. I get high with a little help from my friends. I'm gonna try with a little help from my friends. Do you need anybody? I just need someone to love. Could it be anybody? I just want someone to love. Would you believe in love?
All right, please join me today in our closing words as we extinguish the light of our challenge. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of its truth, the warmth of this community, nor the fire of our commitment. These we carry in our hearts and share with all the world and at the next committee meeting.
Oh, when we meet in fellowship, oh, when we meet in fellowship, oh, aren't you glad to be in that number? When we meet in fellowship, each one of us makes up this church. Each one of us makes up the church. Yes, one for all and all together. Each one of us makes up this church.